What is up, guys, and welcome to my Week 8 preview of New England versus Cleveland, with the Browns at New England, so that's the proper form to say that title. But interesting week. But before you guys watch this video, if you haven't already, please check out my Tom Brady video I made earlier this morning. Yeah, I'm dropping 2 videos on you guys. So boom, boom. Check those out. Those are awesome. But let's jump into Week 8's matchup, the Browns at New England. This is going to be a fun preview to do. This is honestly the funnest preview that I've done all year. Now, some of you might be saying, Quincy, this might be the worst matchup the Cleveland Browns have had on paper all season. Why in the world did you enjoy doing this preview? What is wrong with you? Are you insane? Are you not a Browns fan? Are you cheering for the Patriots to win the game? No. This has been a fun preview because this is a lot more of an interesting matchup than people think. People have taken the surface level approach to looking at this matchup and said to themselves, oh, the Browns are going to get blown out by 40. I would slow down on that. Now, if it happens, I wouldn't be surprised, but I think there's a lot more to this matchup than a lot of people are talking about. Because sure, on paper, this seems like a terrible matchup. What has everybody said all week? Baker Mayfield leads the league in interceptions. The Patriots lead the league in interceptions, but their defense has that lead. So those two come up against each other, and the Patriots are going to win this game by 40, right? That's been the analysis that everybody is using because, respectfully so, the Browns are 2-4. The Patriots are 7-0. Most people don't feel like putting time into their analysis of that matchup. But me, I have no choice but to put a ton of time in. And when I did, found a lot of interesting things because the Browns have a very, very clear and very, very possible path to victory. Now, it's not going to be a lot of margin of error, but there is a path there. What is that path? Watch this video and find out. All right, guys, we're going to start this preview off like we always do, and that's going to look at the key matchups for this game. Now, the first matchup I'm going to look at is the Patriots' struggling wide receivers versus the Browns' secondary. The Browns are finally getting healthy at secondary, minus Demarius Randall. But they're getting Denzel Ward and Greedy Williams back, and the Patriots are losing Josh Gordon. Now they're going to have Mohamed Sanu available. I don't think he's going to see a lot of plays. He might see 3 or 4 plays, but they're going to have Mohamed Sanu available, which might be a game changer. But with Ward and Williams being back, I'm less worried about that because while Sanu is a good player, he is a guy that with a good corner you can contain, unlike Gordon, who can open the game up if he's playing right. So I think the Browns actually do have a chance to impact the game positively from their secondary. Now, their secondary is going to be young this week, and they're going to be coming off injury. So Denzel Ward, Greedy Williams, both haven't played in months. So that matchup is going to be interesting to see if Tom Brady is going to take apart, to see if Tom Brady is going to be able to pick apart a young secondary, see if this secondary is going to make a lot of mental mistakes. But on paper, it looks like a good matchup, actually, with the Browns secondary and the Patriots wide receivers. And since James White is also such a big problem as a receiver, since the Browns are going to have the extra corners with Terrence Mitchell, with TJ Carey not having to play starting roles anymore, I could see them being able to put a corner, a very good corner, Terrence Mitchell probably, on James White to slow him down and his production out the backfield, which would be interesting. I could also see TJ Carey playing that role and them putting Terrence Mitchell at free safety because TJ Carey is just a better tackler than Terrence Mitchell. But both are good tacklers. Both should be able to fill in pretty well. And that's why I'm not as worried about Demarius Randall, because it's only one hole that you have to plug rather than the 2 that you've been plugging all season with the 2 starting corners being out. Now, the second matchup is going to be the other thing that has been most talked about. The Pats' turnover-heavy, sack-heavy defense versus the Browns' turnover-heavy, sack-heavy offense. Now, look, I love Baker Mayfield. I am a fan of Baker Mayfield. I still believe that Baker Mayfield can get things right. I still believe that Baker Mayfield's going to get things right later in the season. But I am not going to act like on the road against the Patriots is any kind of environment for a get-right game. If Freddie Kitchens' game plan is that he's going to shock the world with how well Baker Mayfield plays against the Patriots, then boy, I'm going to have to question whether Freddie Kitchens should be employed by the Cleveland Browns if that's really what he thinks he should do. Baker Mayfield should probably not have a great impact in this game, and they should probably leave their offensive production up to Nick Chubb. But that's a topic for another part in this video. Now, the third matchup is the Browns defensive line versus the Patriots offensive line. This honestly is the most important matchup, at least for the Cleveland Browns, in this entire game. Because this matchup, if it goes the Browns' favor, which it can, they got Myles Garrett, Olivier Vernon, Sheldon Richardson, and Larry Ogunjobi, guys who have underperformed other than Myles Garrett. But even though those guys, with the exception of Myles Garrett, have underperformed, these are still three really capable guys on the defensive line that can and have this year take over games. And this is the hope that the Browns have to have. The Browns have to take over this game on that line, or else they don't have a chance. They have to slow down this passing attack, because in order to win this game, they're going to have to slow down the passing attack, and they're going to have to make sure that the run game is not an option for the New England Patriots. Speaking of run games, the fourth matchup is the Browns running game versus the Pats immovable defense. Again, love Baker Mayfield. Think Baker Mayfield's going to be a great player down the road, the kind of player that can go against the Patriots and beat them on the strength of his arm. But he's not there yet, and he has not played at that level this year. So while this Pats defense is really good against the run and really good against the pass, this is a pick your poison situation. And I'm going to pick my poison against the Pats run defense because of the simple fact that you can't throw interceptions if you run the ball. And turnovers against the New England Patriots are going to kill you more than shorter possessions will. Okay, so the Browns can't get pass happy. They can't feel like they got to prove something to the world this game. They just got to play smart and run that ball. While it's interesting to note that the Patriots have this insane defense statistically, they have not played an offense ranked higher than 22 in DVOA offensively, which is interesting. Now, the Browns aren't going to break that mold. The Browns have the 25th ranked offense. They'll have to wait till Baltimore next week to play a top 10 DVOA offense. But the Browns certainly do have the potential to play at that more so than any other offense they have. And I think that the Browns have the best running game / running back that the Patriots have played all season. Now, I have to look at their schedule to confirm that, but I just think that's the case. And I think running the ball creates less turnovers than throwing the ball. Shocking opinion. But the Browns to win this game, just gonna have to run this ball. All right, now let's look at the injury report for the Browns and the New England Patriots. Now, the Browns have Demarius Randall, who is out from a weird groin injury or knee injury or some kind of hamstring injury. Honestly, whatever it is, Demarius Randall clearly does not agree with his body that he is injured, which is just a weird thing. But I also made a video about that, so if you want to check that out, check that out. It's called the Browns Weird Injury Report Situation. You can dive into that conspiracy if you want. But now let's look at the Patriots. The Patriots have Matt LaCosse, who's injured and not going to play, and Shaq Mason, who is probable. He practiced limited on Friday and I think Thursday, so he's probably going to play, but Matt LaCosse is definitely out. He's been ruled out. The Patriots offense, while they have put up a lot of points, have done it against some lesser teams. And with this Patriots offense, outside of Tom Brady, obviously, there's not a lot elite about this offense. There's not a lot of top-level talent. Even with the addition of Mohamed Sanu, there's just not that to this Patriots offense, which leads me to believe that they can be slowed down and they can be stopped. Look at the Patriots teams that have not, now this is a ridiculous metric, but look at the Patriots teams that have not won the Super Bowl, right? These are teams that were reliant too much on their offense, too much on the arm of Tom Brady. And when that is the case, it's a lot easier to slow that offense down because you can get to the line, you can disrupt Brady since he's not a fairly mobile guy. Pressure can affect him. The Philadelphia Eagles did it to him. The New York Giants did it to him twice. Look at Brady's history. Good defensive line play can normally be the difference between winning a game against Tom and losing a game against Tom. If you're looking at the Browns' weakness, look at everything the Patriots have been great at this season, and those are the Browns' weaknesses. Patriots are really good at turning this ball over. Browns really turn the ball over way too much. Specifically, they get a lot of interceptions, and the Patriots get a lot of interceptions themselves. The Browns have struggled to keep their quarterback clean. The Patriots lead the league in sacks. Again, I can see why a lot of people have written this off, but if we look deeper into the game plan and into some of these matchups, you can see some advantages actually for the Browns that could lead them to victory. But obviously, the Browns have some weaknesses that they're going to have to get creative about when they play the Patriots this weekend. All right, so we're going to jump into the win criteria for each team. Here, I do a focus on what each team needs to do to win. And for the Patriots, it's very simple. They get a 10-point lead early and force the Browns to pass, they're probably going to win this game. If they can keep Tom Brady clean for under 2 sacks, probably going to win this game. If they can get a 14-point or higher lead, this game's likely over. They're not coming. I don't think the Browns are going to come back from 14 or more points. I think 14 is kind of possible, slightly. More than 14, no, you can't do it. Now, for the Browns, it's a lot more complex. Baker has to be turnover free. Baker cannot cause a turnover. Baker cannot fumble the ball because he got sacked too hard. Baker cannot throw an interception. Baker cannot turn the ball over and cost the Browns points. Baker can't turn the ball over, period. Baker should not pass more than 30 times. The Browns should have to overuse Nick Chubb. This means 30-plus carries for Nick Chubb. Nick Chubb is going to be the key to victory if you beat the New England Patriots. And again, this is a key thing. Do not try to prove anything this game. I feel like sometimes Freddie Kitchens tries to prove that he is right about Baker Mayfield in end zone situations, right? You know, that's why he passes more than he should in the end zone. That's why he tries to validate Baker Mayfield by giving him these opportunities to score and improve his stat sheet. But you can't be doing that this week, and you really shouldn't be doing that any week. Now, I don't know if that's the case. I don't know Freddie Kitchens, so I'm not putting that on him. But sometimes it feels like the Browns are trying to prove something. Don't try to prove nothing this week. Just run the ball and mask your weaknesses. Don't get too cute. Don't try to get all fancy. That doesn't work against Bill Belichick. You just worry about what you're good at and take away what you're not good at. Run the ball. Don't give them an opportunity to get a lot of interceptions. Don't give them an opportunity to get a lot of sacks. Just run the ball. Win this time of possession early. Win the time of possession game. Get points early and run this ball and play a slow, grind them out kind of game. In order to do that on the defensive side, the Browns are going to have to disrupt Tom Brady by sacking him. They got to get him down on the ground more than 2 times. They got to disrupt him. They got to make him have a bad day. They got to make Tom Brady hate Myles Garrett. Myles Garrett has to have a good game in order for the Browns to win. So disrupt the line of scrimmage, run the ball, win time of possession. That's what the Browns are going to have to do to win this game, which I know a lot of teams have tried, but not every team has had Myles Garrett. Not every team has had Nick Chubb. So the Browns do stand a chance when it comes to that aspect of it. Now, if you notice that there is a lot more criteria for the Browns to win than the Patriots, that is on purpose. The Browns do not match up favorably at all in a vanilla sense, especially if you use the same play philosophies that have plagued this team early in the season. Now, that being said, there is a clear route of victory for the Browns to win this game. It's very possible. All they would have to do is dominate the line of scrimmage, which they have the talent and are capable of doing. They would have to slow down the Pats' passing attack, which they are capable of doing with Greedy and Denzel back, and they would have to be able to create a bulk of their offense on the ground with Nick Chubb, which they have done in the 2 times they've won the game. So while the Browns have a pathway for winning, the runway is very narrow. They don't have a lot of margin for error. They can't afford turnovers. They can't afford penalties. They can't afford to fall behind. And outside of that, the Browns would have to, because outside of that, the Browns would have to rely on Baker Mayfield, whose numbers indicate that he is not ready for such a task against New England. Now, I'm not saying that he isn't capable of it, because I think talent-wise, Baker Mayfield has the pieces around him, and he has the internal talent to do such a thing. I don't think he is there yet. I think he needs to build some confidence. I think he needs to play better and see more defenses in order to do that. But he could, and it would be one hell of a story, and everybody would talk about it. And oh boy, would the hype be back on in a way that I would not be ready for. But You have to admit that if he did that, it would be a huge surprise from somebody who is a huge Baker Mayfield fan and a huge Browns fan. So while I do believe that the Browns have a clear lane for victory, that it wouldn't be that big of a surprise that the Browns won, I just don't know if I trust this team enough based on what I've seen early in this season that they will be disciplined enough in order to do this against one of the world's most disciplined sports teams, period. And that is why I can't confidently pick the Browns here, unfortunately. I think the Browns have the talent to do this matchup-wise. I think the Browns are capable of doing this, and certainly they can show up on Sunday in Foxborough and be the best version of themselves and definitely win this game because of the talent that they have and the potential that they have. But when it comes to predicting a score, you can't rely on something that has not showed itself to be the normal throughout the season. And that's why I'm going to say the Patriots are probably going to win this game 35-17. That is my thoughts on the game. Do you think that this is all doom and gloom like some people think, or do you think the Browns actually have a chance to win this game like I do, although it is a very thin landing strip that they have, and they have not proven themselves to be disciplined enough to land that plane. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Thank you guys for watching this video. Please watch my other videos. And if you like what I do here, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and ding that notification bell so you can be notified when I upload. And thank you guys for buying some of the merch and joining the Patreon. And if you want to join the Patreon, you'll get your name added to this nice little ESPN style ticker bar that I have at the bottom of the video that pops up from time to time in every video. So thank you guys for watching. Have a great day. Have a good night.